completely material. The real self, the spirit soul, is never annihilated or killed by anyone. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे। करोति वाचालं गायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं हे श्रीगुरों दिनतारणं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरं पञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining. So today in this verse, Swayambhu Manu was actually advising Dhruva Maharaj. The previous verse, Swayambhu Manu was actually advised Dhruva Maharaj. How? Read that verse. Samprasanne Bhagavati Purusha Prakrutir Gunai Vimukto Jiva Nirmukto Bhagavan Nirvana Richati. The previous verse is more clear. तितिक्षया करुणया मैत्रेय च किल जन्तुषु समत्वेन न च सर्वात्मा भगवान संप्रसीदति. So Swayambhu Manu was advising Dhruva Maharaj, one should be tolerant and one should be very merciful unto the other living entities. Only then one will be able to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why we should avoid all the unnecessary violence. Okay. But in the next verse, like why we should please Supreme Personality of Godhead? He's saying just by pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one will be able to get out of this material existence. But in the case of his brother, he should not worry, because in this verse he actually quoting that how, by the act of material nature, Prakrutir Kriyamanani Gunair Karmani Sarvasha, means by the material nature, men and women come together and give birth to these children, offsprings, and then people will expand. So it is all the acts of material nature. So these three verses are very wonderful. First thing, one should be very, very compassionate to other living entities and very conscious that all the living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and by serving them and helping them in their spiritual progress, one will attain the perfection. And we should do everything only for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of God. And in the next verse, what he's saying about the material nature. This material nature is created by the five elements, all those things. Okay. So this is the temporary setup. Whatever we see around here, everything is temporary. Our family is temporary, our body is temporary, our identity is temporary, everything, our mind, our intelligence, our ego is also temporary. So, but what is the best? What can we do while we are in the situation? Yesterday, Nikunja was quoting nice analogy from His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj. He says, when the happiness, this material world is not designed for happiness to stay to be happy in this material world. When somebody is happy in this material world, he is like a crazy man. So just the way the person is crazy, he's always laughing, how, like that kind of laughing and happiness of the crazy person will increase the anxiety of his beloved ones, his parents or his loved ones, no? Because he doesn't know when to be happy. He doesn't know, if it is a situation, if you see a crazy person is there, if some, I could remember something, like, I read somewhere I saw, like, some death happened in the family. All the family members are very grave and then lamenting for the past one. But this crazy person will come laughing, hey, like that. He's indifferent to what is happening around him. He's happy, but his happiness is actually causing anxiety to everyone. Nobody likes his happiness. In the same way, happiness, like if we think that anything of this material world will make us happy, then we are like that crazy person. And the great souls, like devotees and gurus, they become unhappy seeing our happiness. So when Srila Prabhupada actually arrived the Boston airport, Boston port, like in the Jaladuta, he was in the Jaladuta street, we could see the skyline of the Boston city, high-rise buildings and a lot of cars and all those things are going on around. And Prabhupada actually wept tears of compassion. And he prayed to Krishna, Krishna, please give me strength to convince them. Please give me words. Please empower me. Please help me. These people are suffering so much. And United States of America was the richest and still the richest country. And people are way, materially, people are way comfortably situated than India. And Prabhupada is coming and looking at them, he's crying tears. These people are suffering and they don't know that they are suffering. Somebody is suffering, in those days in India, that the situation was very not so materially great. The India was struggling, third world countries, poverty, suffering everywhere, materially also. And they had that spiritual little bit of inclination. But here in this material world, in this United States, people are enjoying the senses, people are advancing the high-rise buildings, cars, and all those things. And they are thinking that they are happy. That is the goal of life. And looking at their happiness, Prabhupada got this, was lamenting. So even we have to think ourselves when we are happy, when we are enjoying, when we are deriving happiness of anything of this material world, means we are like that crazy person. We are literally crazy. One should only derive pleasure only in the service of Krishna, only in the devotional aspect. So otherwise, we'll by the influence of Maya, we just take Krishna from the center of our life and put ourselves in the center easily within a span of minutes. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, right, moment after moment, we should be fully conscious and cautious of what is going on in your mind and fully Krishna conscious. Like when you are chanting, we have to focus, we have to beg Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service, please. And the prayerful mood. And we should be, Prabhupada says, at every syllable, at every mantra, every word that you speak, you should be able to see them. You should be able to feel the presence of their presence. But some thoughts will come, oh, let me do that, all those things. We have to patiently bring it back and again focus on that, our chanting. So, and we have to, for anything to happen in this material world, the first thing it is contemplation of the object of sense gratification. First, we meditate on them, and then attraction towards them will increase. Then we indulge in them. That's why everything starts in the level of thinking. And if you are very, very conscious, like uh, what is the difference between a yogi and a materialist? Materialist vision is external. He sees outside and takes the information inside. But yogi his vision is internal. What is going on in his mind? What is happening in his mind? What kind of thoughts is getting? He is very much vigilant. How like am I right now meditating on Krishna, or am I meditating on something material? Then immediately you will bring back. What is the best way to control our mind? If you don't want to see somebody or see something, immediately what you have to do? You have to, like, if you say no, like, no, immediately say, please don't think of mangoes. Okay. If I say, please don't think of mangoes, immediately everyone will think of mangoes, right? So that is not the work. How to deal with the mind? To deal with the mind, you have to have something to focus on. Now, if you don't want to think of mangoes, immediately you have to think of maybe Krishna's lotus feet, maybe maybe some oranges or apples. So when I say don't, that is not the way. People mind will take all the instructions as it is. Okay. Uh, if you don't think of the mangoes, immediately mind will start thinking of the mangoes. If you don't want to see something, immediately, if you say to the mind, don't do that, immediately mind will go on to doing that only. Don't focus on that. Yeah. And eventually mind goes, then our senses goes, then we go physically. Like for example, there is some movies are going on. So a nice movie, you hear that first, and then you contemplate, oh, what kind of actors and all those things. Then our thoughts will go first. Then our mind develops a desire. Oh, see, we watch a lot of movies. See one more like that. Then we physically go and watch the movie. So best way to avoid is just control on the level of thoughts itself. So thinking, feeling, and willing. So it's better, best way to immediately we have something higher to focus on. No, I have to go and meet the devotee. I have to read Bhagavatam or do some service. If you do that, it is easy to control the mind. That's why Prabhupada gave this wonderful, wonderful process. He didn't give you chant all day long. You could have said that, but it is so difficult. You have to can chant for at least 2-3 hours. If you are in mode of sattva, if you chant in the morning hours, you'll be very nicely be able to chant. But as the day passes, sattva will transform into rajogun, and rajogun will transform into tamagun. So, and it becomes more and more difficult. If you are not able to finish your rounds in the morning, it will take all day long for you to finish. So best way to make use of that time, the first 10 hours of sattva in the morning from 2 to 6:30 in the morning. So then we later on, as the modes change, as the surroundings change, we will not be able to focus that much on the chanting, or we will not be able to focus that much on reading also. Then we engage our senses in directly serving Krishna. If you are working, work for Krishna and fully conscious that I am doing this only this for the pleasure of Krishna. Always bring back, always anything comes of like any thought comes of enjoying the divinity of Krishna. We at least dovetail that activity in the service of Krishna. That way we will be saved. And when we lead our life like that, then we'll have this firm conviction that my life is fully dedicated to Krishna. Just the way, like we gave one word to somebody, okay, I will this, like, for example, like you reserve some seat to some special guest, okay, like in some class or some occasion, and you put their name. This seat is reserved for so and so, like reserved, like that, and we invited them, and they are coming, and when they are on the way, when they came, and if someone whom we love, like our mother, like kids or loved ones, the family members, they go and sit in there, that seats. Then we tell them, no, no, get up, get up. This special seat is for them. I invited them. They are a special guest, like spiritual master. For example, that Vyasasana is for spiritual master. So, so get up, get up. Like, yeah, that is the best example. Nice Bhagavatam Katha is scheduled. Spiritual master is about to come, and one of our kid will go and jump on the Vyasasana. So it doesn't look good. So in the same way, our heart is like a seat, okay, and we have to welcome the holy name Radha Krishna and the spiritual master to be present there. And if something else, like some thought comes, it is like a disturbing child coming and jumping and dancing there. We have to get rid of them and then bring them back again. So in the same way, like when Krishna is at the center of our life, then everything that we do, like we said that you don't have to, like you do for Krishna says, right? First thing is Satadam Kirtanatama. Always meditate upon me. If that is not possible, at least work for me. Work for me. If that is not possible, give at least the fruits of your actions to me. Like that, he gives different gradations how we can be Krishna conscious. So, but we should try our best to always meditate upon Krishna. Satadam Kirtanatama. And of course, practicality is also like required. Like there are so many other services that has to be taken care. So constantly engage in hearing and chanting and meditating on Krishna, and you can do that services. So that way, we will be able to easily control our mind and focus on Krishna. But are we sure? But whatever the endeavor that we do, we may not be able to please Krishna fully. There's a chance, right? We might be like go into stock market, and like you go in the beginning, you before starting to the stock market, you pray at home, you do a chanting, and then do Guru Puja, and then worship Krishna, and then go and get fully engaged and say to Krishna, Krishna, I'm only going to make money so that I can maintain your house. Like that, with concession you may go. But after going there, you may totally forget about Krishna consciousness, all those things, and fully get engaged into it. And like sometimes we get doubt: is my actions really pleasing Krishna? Is with these conditions, will I be able to go back to Godhead? So, best way for that is to always engage in the service of devotees rather than like spiritual master. That's why it is said that Krishna says, actually, this source comes in Adi Purana. Krishna says, those who are my direct devotees are actually not my devotees, but those who are devotees of my servants actually are factually my devotees. I think this verse is also quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 11.28. So that's why, like Harivarsha was saying, right? We should have Madhurya Rasa with Krishna, but always we should have Dasya Rasa towards Radharani. Means Radharani is the topmost devotee, and we should have Dasya Rasa towards Srimati Radharani. We have to help her, serve her to please Krishna. And with respect to Krishna, we can have loving relation. But what is the best way to establish that loving relation is to serve Radharani. Then only Krishna will accept us. And spiritual master is direct representative of Radharani, and Nityananda Prabhu is a representative of Radharani. And then spiritual master is representative of Nityananda Prabhu. So, and other devotees are representatives of spiritual master. So, basically, we have to be servant of servant of servant of servant of servant. So, the number of servants increases, the more potency it becomes. Why? Because it crushes our false ego. Anybody can be directly, like if a spiritual master comes here, everybody will be, I want to do direct service. Yeah, that is good. But if you are in the mood of servant of servant of servant, so many devotees are coming and taking prasadam and going, and so many parts are left unwashed. and temple all become dirty. But when you have the conception, I am the servant of servant of servant. Srimati Radharani is the topmost devotee, and Nityananda Prabhu is servant of Srimati Radharani, and spiritual and spiritual master Prabhupada is servant of Nityananda Prabhu, and spiritual master is servant of Prabhupada, and Shiksha Guru is here. The temple authorities are servants of my spiritual master or Prabhupada, and the in charge of any servant service is the servant of temple president. And other devotees are also connected in some way. So if we can be able to have that mood, like we'll be able to see the put ourselves in the mood of servant of servant of servant, then it will be the best situation that we can think of. One thing is we are totally removing ourselves from the center of our life and then putting service of Krishna and service of devotees of Krishna as the topmost. Then our false ego, what is the most layer, very toughest layer to break to go back to spiritual world is false ego. And false ego gets crushed when you are serving servant of servant of servant. You are not directly getting connected to spiritual master, directly connected to Krishna, directly connected to Srila Prabhupada, not even directly connected to spiritual master, not even directly connected to the temple authorities. You are serving the servant of servant of servant, and you take it very seriously. If some devotee says, Prabhuji, can you please help? You take it as that is my duty. He is my master, I am his servant. Then when we have that mode, by doing so, we'll be definitely pleasing the spirit, like pleasing Krishna more than anyone. So that's why what is the best way to become the servant of Srimati Radharani is to glorify Krishna. Like some devotees, they say, they sing, they try to, of course, sing. See, when we glorify Krishna, Srimati Radharani is very much pleased. When you glorify Srimati Radharani, Krishna is very much pleased. So when you want to please Krishna, when you want to please Srimati Radharani, glorify Krishna more and more. Glorify the devotees of Krishna more and more. So that's why, like, it is said that best way to approach Radha Krishna is to approach through Gaurnitai and through spiritual master. So if we have that conception, if you have that clarity of the mind, then our mood towards everything that we see, that everything that we do will be very much refined, and that way we can get out of this from mental conception very fast and then become more and more Krishna conscious. So if we come to the purport, Krishna is saying, like Prabhupada is writing, how everything is happening only by the direction of material nature. And best way to, as long as we are here, best way to keep ourselves engaged, keep ourselves focused is to do everything as a service to Krishna and everything that service to devotees. Then when we serve spiritual master and please spiritual master, then we'll attain ultimate perfection. So means everything boils down to pleasing the spiritual master. If you please spiritual master, you'll be pleasing the devotees. If you please the devotees, you'll be pleasing spiritual master. And then if you please spiritual master, Krishna will be automatically pleased. When you please Krishna, what that verse says, is the one who is actually eligible to go back to God. So, but if you directly go, I wanted to do tapasya and please Krishna directly, we have to be on the level of Dhruva Maharaj. Are not so many sages who actually, some sages they meditated for thousands of years, but still didn't get even the glance of Krishna, even the darshan of Krishna. They have been meditating on the Krishna for thousands of many lifetimes. When Dhruva Maharaj was set out to meditate on Krishna, Narada Muni says, hey, you are a small boy, it is very difficult to please Krishna. Why are you enduring that much? Like some sages, so many sages doing very severe austerities to have to please Krishna and to have darshan of Krishna, but still they have been not able to do, and they have been doing for many lifetimes, many thousands of years, but still they are not coming. And you, small boy, how can you get it done? So when we approach directly to Krishna, Krishna himself is saying, they are not my devotees. You are directly approaching me, they are not my devotees. Devotee of my devotee is actually my devotees. So what worked out well for Dhruva Maharaj is Narada came into the picture. Because Narada instructed him. And Dhruva Maharaj did everything as Narada said. That's why instructions of spiritual master should be always in our mind. Then only when we are focused on that, then we can automatically shift our focus from material things to the spiritual things. Then we will be saved. Then we please devotees, authorities, and we please spiritual master, management. Instead of doing whatever we wanted to do. You ask any devotee, what shall I do? And the temple authorities also should do it as a service to them. Like temple president, spiritual master does, like if you see the mood of spiritual masters, they call their disciples as Prabhus, because they do whatever they engage as a service to them, not service to themselves, not service to their personal service. As a service to them, they engage them. They also have the mood of servant. So when everyone has this mood of servant, then wherever we are in, it will become the spiritual world. And that way everyone will uplift others and uplift themselves also. Okay. That's what I can speak. If anybody have any questions or comments, you can. Yes, go.
So last question. Now let's see. You high mental of mind, high intelligence, then high soul, spiritual. Now intelligence is higher than mental mind. Still, mind is more powerful than intelligence. Most of the time. Intelligence knows what is right, what is wrong, but mind kind of push him away. So why intelligence in front of mind?
Yeah, because mind is a repository. Mind actually is a storehouse of all the experiences that we have. And mind is like a child. Okay, it keeps all the, like when a child goes outside, eat chocolate, then he drinks different things, and child likes it. And intelligence, like now, in one sense, you can say mind is like a wife. Don't take literally, just take for the sake of analogy. Okay, and wife has so many desires. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want. And intelligence is like a husband, or like child towards father, or husband towards wife. Okay, and that analogy can be applied both ways. Okay, mind can be like a child, and the intelligence is like a father, or mind can be like a wife, and husband can intelligence can be like a husband. Mind puts all the proposals. I want this, I want this. If the intelligence is weak, then intelligence will come under the influence of mind and tries to do whatever the mind demands. But if the intelligence is empowered, see what we are doing right now, we are empowering our intelligence. We are strengthening our intelligence so that intelligence has the power to convince the mind. Like my child is saying, Papa, I want chocolate, I want this ice cream, all those things. And my intelligence will, when we empower intelligence, when we say why this is not good, and then intelligence will be able to convince or distract the mind to not to do that. If like some children are there, they have asked them or something like that, but they wanted ice cream. But parents will figure it out how to convince, say that this is not good, you'll suffer. It actually suffers. Child actually suffers when they take some wrong foods. So that way, like we have to empower the intelligence. Like how can we do that? ABCD, association, books, chanting, and D, what you call diet. All those things are basic fundamentals. whatever Prabhupada has given us, it is only to save ourselves by by reading, associating with devotees regularly, and doing the proper with proper understanding. Then we develop proper attitude to everything that we do, everything that we come across in our spiritual circles, and that way we become more and more refined. See, the just the way like uh, like somebody who is actually addicted to something, when they started controlling that habit, when they started controlling that habit, it may not be happen overnight, but they have to keep on endeavoring. You keep on. We should never give up. We should, even if we take until lifetime to do that, we have to keep doing it. Like for example, somebody has this habit. Okay, I wanted to no, I don't want to do this. No, I don't want to go on to social media or go on to that. No, then we have to keep on trying. No, whenever you violate that principle, you not down. Okay, this. And I no, it is said that in order to create a new habit, it takes only 21 days, and just focus on one day at a time and one moment at a time. Now that's why Bhagavat Krishna says, moment after moment, Shanair, something that word says there, I'm not able to recall. So we have to go moment after moment, then after moment, then day after day, and like month after month, then year after year, like that. We have to keep on endeavoring, or now that way. See, like if you do something, if you think something, okay, today I'm going to do this, then you do that without even if a lot of obstacles come, then it will increase our willpower. So that is a tapasya actually. Like somebody who actually has strong willpower, they can just by their words, the things will happen. That's why, like when you go to a saintly person, when you go to any yogi or any saintly person or spiritual master, we take their blessings. Maharaj, I'm trying to do this. Please, I need your blessings. Why? Because when they decide, means Krishna decides. When Krishna decides, then everything will happen. It is said, right? Somebody who is doesn't have the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for them even the simple task become very difficult. But somebody who has the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for him even the most difficult task will become very easy. What is the most difficult task? To get out of this material, or go back to Godhead, to detach ourselves from the material things and then focus on Krishna. So why? Because the saintly persons, they develop that willpower. You see some in dramas or in some movies also you might see some Durasumani cursing, you become like this. Why? How come they got so much empowerment up to their words? Just by words only, you become tree or you become like rock or something like that. Any spiritual person, normally cursed. Why they got so much of power is through their attachment to Krishna. Because uh, when we are so much in connection with Krishna, then Krishna will see, for everything to happen, it should have the sanction of Krishna. When, for example, when a disciple is pleasing spiritual master so much, then whatever disciple says, spiritual master says, yes, you do as per he says. Then, in the same way, when we please Krishna, when we please spiritual authorities and please Krishna, then whatever that person decides, that will be decision of Krishna automatically. So just by take step by step. Okay, let me focus on one day or moment. Okay, these 4 hours I'm totally dedicated to this thing only. Or this one day I'm going to know. The best way to know, like at least once in 15 days, Ekadashi comes. This one day, I'll be fully Krishna conscious. Especially when Ekadashi comes on weekends, you can take full advantage of it. This one day, I won't give any room to any material things. I will be fully focused on the spiritual things. I will be fully Krishna conscious. Then once in 15 days to once in a week to once in like once in 3 days, then once in days to every day. So it all depends on how we conditioning our mind and senses. So we have to get out of the conditioning of previous conditioning of mind and senses. Right now, our mind is attached to so many things, the news, some all those things around. So much of attachments are there. Why? Because of previous condition. So we start somewhere, and then define it more and more and more and more. That way we become completely Krishna conscious, and we always meditate on Krishna. That's why we should not focus on what not to do. We should focus on what to do. That's why more than anartha nivruti, artha pravruti is important. Artha pravruti means don't focus on I should not be doing this, I should not be doing this. Instead, focus on I have to do something. I have to read Bhagavatam for so many hours. Then today I have to memorize this many shlokas, or today I have to do this service. Like that, artha pravruti means anything that we do in favor of Krishna is actually increasing our artha, spiritual wealth. So, we have to increase our attachment to Krishna. Then automatically our detachment from material things or Maya will automatically happen. We don't have to specially do that. So then attachment to Krishna conscious thing, attachment to words of spiritual master uh, is all same. Sorry. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. No, actually, it is said that I asked one senior devotee once, what he said is, yes, it's like in a plate of prasadam, there is major portion will be rice or rotis or something, and then there is sabji, there is dal, there is yogurt, and there is salt or pickle. Huh? So in a full plate of prasadam, you'll have all those things, and there is some pickle. Okay, so you have to keep all like main course like rice, dal, sabji, and all those things, and all those things are the main course. And how much pickle you'll keep? Pickle is this much, little bit, just for the sake, or salt. So you can keep all the Krishna conscious thing, Krishna's reading Bhagavatam, also reading devotees, going to programs, and then your sadhana, seva as the main courses, and knowledge about the external material world as pickle. Little time. How much time? That you decide. How much pickle you want to eat. The more pickle you eat, the more contaminated you become. Your system will get damaged. So little bit, just for the sake of having an idea. Okay. But what we have to eat more? Something nourishes us. Okay.
Very good example. Very good example. Wherein we can relate.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Online, anybody have any questions or comments? Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll end it here. Gantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.